Numerous air-to-air missiles make the F-15EX a deadly killer. The classic F-15 airframe gets a new lease on life with the Air Force's F-15EX program. The stealthy F-22 and F-35 fighters can only carry 4 to 6 air-to-air missiles beyond visual range in their internal bays. In contrast, the F-15EX has long been hailed as a «missile truck» that is theoretically capable of carrying as many as 20 medium-sized missiles. For a while now, China and Russia have been developing and deploying long-range radar-guided air-to-air missiles, or VLRAAMs, designed to threaten aircraft up to 250 miles away. Instead, the U.S. Air Force is focusing on improving the short-range AIM-9X Sidewinder heat-seeking and intermediate-range AIM-120 Advanced Medium-Range Air-to-Air Missile, AMRAAM. The service saw no need for long-range missiles when it had F-22 and F-35 stealth fighters that could maneuver into positions with a low probability of detection. However, that thinking has changed recently. First in 2017, the Air Force and Navy began developing a successor to the AIM-120D with a range of about 100 miles called the AIM-260 Joint Air Tactical Missile. The Lockheed missile reportedly retains single-pulse rocket propulsion and the AIM-120 form factor, meaning it can fit inside existing stealth fighters, while achieving a greater range, perhaps in excess of 124 miles. Flight tests for the AIM-260 will begin in 2021, and will replace the manufactured AIM-120 in 2026. But more radically, a budget document seen by Air Force Magazine's John Turpick in April 2021 reveals the service's plans to install large air-to-air weapons on the upcoming F-15EX Eagle II fighter fleet. This may refer to a Raytheon-led concept program that began in 2016 called the Long Range Engagement Weapon, LREW. Although admittedly the concept art for the LREW depicts a weapon fired from the F-22 Raptor. The new missile referenced in the budget document appears by definition too large to fit inside an existing stealth fighter. Indeed, it may hint at an evolving air warfare doctrine designed to allow non-stealth F-15EX jets to contribute long-range missile fire to aerial combat while reducing their vulnerability to return fire, which the Air Force may be concerned about. Long-range air-to-air missile Very long-range air-to-air missiles, VLRAAM, have 2 or 3 times the range of extra-visual range missiles such as the AIM-120, Russia's R-77, and China's Place-12. VLRAAM is aimed less at shooting down fighters, and more at severing the vulnerable tendons they rely on: tankers, surveillance, and command and control aircraft. Tankers are indispensable for long-range operations in theaters such as the Pacific Ocean, while airborne early warning aircraft and similar command and control aircraft give fighter pilots a major advantage by dramatically increasing situational awareness and coordination. These aircraft-based support planes hang away from enemy air defenses, but the VLRAAM delivers a kind of «sniper fire» to these vulnerable planes without having to fight their way through the intervening U.S. combat screens. Russia specifically deployed the upgraded Vympel R-37M, NATO codename AA-13B Axehead, on the MiG-31 Foxhound interceptor, complementing the R-33 missiles deployed to shoot down U.S. strategic bombers and spy planes. The upgraded R-37M can reach hypersonic speeds, up to Mach 6, and has a maximum range of about 250 miles, while the R-33 has been extended to about 190 miles. Both can be equipped with nuclear anti-aircraft warheads. Meanwhile, China's Place-15 BVR missile uses a dual-pulse solid-fuel rocket motor to achieve an alleged maximum range of 186 miles, significantly surpassing the US AIM-120D. At least 4 Place-15s can fit in the internal bay of Beijing's J-20 stealth fighter. China is also developing the Place-21 missile with an estimated range of 250 miles similar to the R-37M. The Place-21 is believed to use the throttleable ramjet propulsion featured in the European Meteor BVR missile. That means instead of hitting top speed immediately after launch, it can efficiently glide toward the target before accelerating to hypersonic speeds in the terminal phase to increase the kill probability. The Navy may alternately look to the missile's role on the F/A-18E/F Super Hornet fighter as a successor to the retired AIM-54 missile and F-14 Tomcat interceptor. The Phoenix's long range and high speed was based on the need to strike Soviet bombers as quickly as possible to prevent them from unleashing a deadly salvo of anti-ship missiles. This threat has re-emerged to some degree in the 21st century in the form of China's diverse maritime strike capabilities and the still active Russian anti-ship strategic bomber. However, Air Force budget documents appear to describe VLRAAM as a way to integrate a fleet of F-15EX non-stealth fighters into offensive air superiority missions alongside the F-22 and F-35 stealth aircraft. The service procured at least 78, and potentially up to 200 Boeing F-15EX multi-role jets to replace the F-15C air superiority fighter. However, recent wargames suggest that the Air Force believes its F-15EX aircraft could suffer heavy losses if pitted in direct combat against contemporary adversaries. However, the F-22 and F-35 stealth fighters can only carry 4 to 6 air-to-air missiles beyond visual range in their internal bays. In contrast, the F-15EX has long been lauded as a «missile truck», theoretically capable of carrying as many as 20 medium-sized missiles, or some very large weapons such as the hypersonic AGM-183A Arrow air-to-ground missile. Theoretically, an F-15EX armed with a VLRAAM could maintain a safe distance from enemy warplanes while receiving targeting data from F-22 and F-35 stealth jets operating at closer ranges. Admittedly, the F-15s may still be visible on radar at that distance and subject to long-range fire in return. But unlike sluggish support aircraft, they have the speed and maneuverability to evade at that distance. An alternative tactic might be for the F-15EX to release the VLRAAM into the anticipated battlespace without being locked onto the target. If equipped with a throttled ramjet, missiles can glide stealthily and fuel efficiently toward the battle area until they receive targeting data from friendly forces via a two-way datalink. At that point they can speed up the pace, reducing the time it takes to complete the sensor-to-shooter kill chain. Thomas Newdick pointed out in an article for The Drive that the VLRAAM might also be an attractive weapon for large non-combat aircraft such as the Air Force's upcoming B-21 Raider stealth bomber that may need to engage enemy aircraft without approaching dangerously. Challenges of using VLRAAM. That said, there are practical issues to take advantage of VLRAAM's extreme range. First, their range may meet or exceed the detection range of the launch platform's radar. That means the VLRAAM may rely on target cues by ground or air-based early warning radars, or by friendly fighter aircraft closer to the target. It may also be difficult to verify whether the target is really an enemy rather than a friendly or civilian aircraft. Historically, engagement rules requiring positive identification have significantly limited the use of missiles beyond visual range. However, the type of high-intensity combat VLRAAM to be used will likely feature less stringent engagement rules. The final problem is that if the targeted aircraft's Missile Approach Warning System, MAWS, is functioning as intended, its pilots may have enough time to dodge the missile. That means long-range missiles are unlikely to be effective against maneuverable fighter aircraft and particularly pose a threat to tankers, aerial radar aircraft and subsonic bombers. That said, forcing the aircraft to stop whatever mission it is undertaking and perform evasive maneuvers can have tactical benefits. Regardless, the budget document strongly suggests the Air Force is looking to scale down a broader range of air warfare capabilities than ever before, particularly with a view to matching foreign technology as well as finding ways to keep non-stealth jets in combat without exposing them to undue risk.